I guess I can't really explain why I spend so much time building bases in video games. There's something I find really appealing about a game that has a robust base building system. It allows me to create something within the game that would not have existed if I had not played the game. No Man's Sky is particularly cool because there are multiple planets to choose from. I'm not committed to one open world and one or a few handful of finite places to build. With the vast amount of planets in No Man's Sky and all the options available of blueprints and customizing your base, the idea is that I can build something that is very wholly unique, right? That's only something that I could have built in that moment on this planet with the available resources that I had. One thing that is worth mentioning is with all the customization, you are limited to the resources you have. You won't probably be able to just boot up the game and start building. But as you progress through the game, through I think general exploration, you will find that you've gathered a lot of the stuff required just by playing the game. And then it becomes fun, right, to continue to look for specific resources that you need to craft specific items that you're trying to build. Then it becomes a game again with a simple objective as opposed to an overwhelming, I don't have anything that I need to build a base. At the start of the game, I believe they give you a few kind of blueprints just right off the bat, so you can build very simple structures. And then not long through progression, you unlock, I think it's called a space nexus, and that allows you to spend currency to buy, additional cooler blueprints for customization and aesthetics. So first off, here are my storage lockers or storage units. They do require power to operate, so I've got a solar panel that powers them and also charges that battery, and then the battery keeps them powered overnight just in case I need to access any of my resources during the nighttime. One thing maybe people don't realize with the storage units is that as long as you build the same number of the storage unit, 0 through, I think 9 you can build, maybe it's more. As long as you build that same numbered storage unit on multiple planets, you can access the resources within each one. It just builds that, it kind of copies that storage unit onto whichever new planet. This is my power grid to keep my base powered. This might look like overkill, but my base is bigger than it looks, I think, from the outside. So you'll see why I have so many solar panels and batteries. So this was the first part of the base that I built. I think I was, and you can see I probably, the bases get a little more complex as we go further through it because I probably unlocked more blueprints and more stuff to build. This was just kind of like the first thing that I wanted to build over the water. I thought it would look cool. It's like a patio, bar, dining area. This will connect to the landing pad for the base. Again, I thought it would look cool to just have it over the water. I want to use the environment as much as I can when I'm designing my base, just to make it more unique. A base on a flat structure could exist on any planet. If I'm doing cool stuff with the water, then it kind of makes it unique to this planet in this area. That's the base teleporter, where if I'm off planet and just come back here fast travel, this is where I show up. Well, usually, unless the game just decides to pop me somewhere else within the base grid. And that, again, that was the first area of the base that I built. So I was experimenting a little bit and trying to see, how cool it would look and what I could do using the lakes around this place. There's my Exocraft, I think it's called. And the main part of my base I built pretty far from the landing strip, so it's kind of nice to have the car to get me there faster. It's kind of a long walk, actually, if we do it on foot. And I think it's also worth mentioning here, I'll go into build mode so we can show the electrical wires. Everything does have to be powered, so I've got these switches running along the beach. You don't need the switches. I could just connect everything directly, I think, with one wire, but it would look horrible if you could see the wires. And even though they're hidden and you can't see them outside of build mode, I couldn't have just, one stupid wire running from the landing pad power supply all the way over here. So this is the entranceway to the main house. You're gonna see a lot of like general gathering places, because that seems to be what most of the buildable accessories are comprised of. The base has multiple levels here, the main house I should say. We've got a save beacon right here. I try to keep those as convenient as possible, and they're mainly for while I was building the base, so they were somewhere close by where I could save my progress during construction. General living area here. All the stuff on the walls has to be put there and built, and you have to have the resources to craft it and all that stuff. So it's just a big empty shell when you build these walls, and it's dark and ugly and kind of scary looking actually. So it doesn't take long to warm it up and start adding things that make it look like someone might live here and use it for something. I picture people like eating breakfast down there. I guess this is like, that was a guest bedroom. Over there, I only have one place where I feel like I would sleep if I had to pick a master bedroom. So mostly what we're going to be seeing is guest bedrooms. This one over here has a bar, and this has got the outdoor window, so this is probably the better of the two bedrooms on this floor. There's a little storage area back here. Tried to just put general, detritus to make it seem lived in, and so that's a place you would store just stuff you don't use that much, like rolled up rugs and stuff. Up here we've got a couple pieces of functional equipment, and I know it's not the most convenient place to put my base construction unit, or whatever it's called, but this is where I would put them if I lived here. I wouldn't have this stuff in the front room or in the entranceway to the base. It's machinery. It goes, in an attic or a basement or something. So yeah, I have to come up here every time I want to combine, multiple items or not use carbon to refine any materials. I guess it's just, score a point for immersion. This is just a little cove, a little chill room. It's obvious, I think, what this room is for. I bought a bunch of posters, poster blueprints, I should say, and didn't have a lot of places to use them, so some posters up on the wall there. So yeah, that's the main like normal part of the base. I guess I built that next after I built my landing area, and then we're gonna go to we're gonna start getting a little weirder here. We're gonna go to the water part of the base, and it's bigger than it looks, but I was kind of just making it up as I go. There's gonna be some serious Subnautica vibes, because I think, especially with base building, I'm going to continue to be chasing the Subnautica dragon for how satisfying that was to build a base that not only I felt was wholly my own and completely made by me, but also necessary for my survival and extremely functional and served an important purpose. So straight ahead is another just random room sticking out of the water. We'll get there in a moment. We got to go underwater first to get there. So another save beacon here, again, because I think this has got to be the first room that I built underwater. It made sense to have a place to save my progress. This little gadget here is a intergalactic trade terminal, and that is very, very useful to have on site. You can sell and buy resources here, useful stuff to buy if you don't feel like going out there and farming it, and selling stuff is super handy to have on site as well. and then we can kind of check out the first floor of the underwater area first. That greenhouse that we saw from above was just up this ladder. It's just a kind of a relaxing sort of zen area. There's a bunch of plants that I've planted here. I think this is called a biodome. I think it's 4 plants, but I put a couch up here because it's got a great view of the lake and the sky, and why wouldn't you want to hang out here for a little while? And I could see this being one of those places where I felt like, okay, I'm done now. You know, you build a bunch of stuff, and none of this is fast. It takes a long time to do all this. So I probably was like, let's build a greenhouse sticking out of the water. And then I did that. I'm like, okay, I can be done now. But then, you know, probably I looked underwater. I'm like, nah, we can continue building stuff under the water too. So I just started building some tunnels, and these prefab, those large rooms, don't take very much. I think it's like just regular ferrite dust, if I'm not mistaken. Whatever it is, it's easy to come by, especially on this planet. So it was pretty easy to just start connecting tunnels and building these large dome rooms. Plus they've got windows all around, and underwater, it's cool to have windows. You know, what's the point of being underwater and having a cool view? And you've got opaque steel walls surrounding you. Although now that I mentioned that, I think I probably had to build the windows into these walls. So maybe when you build these prefab rooms, it is just a big blank wall. That sounds right. So you got to get glass. I've spent more time than you want to know fabricating glass in that large refiner up there. Jesus, so much glass. And then down here on the bottom floor of the underwater area, this is where I think is probably the master bedroom. This is probably where I'd be. The only problem with it being the master bedroom is that ladder's in the middle of it, and you can't walk by that ladder without being sucked to it like a magnet and starting to walk up it. So that would be annoying. Like if you live down there and you're trying to like change clothes or watch TV, and you get just a little bit too close to the ladder and it sucks you straight to it. And you start climbing up at like 3 rungs without even meaning to. So I don't know. It's the coolest room, I think, with a bed in it that's aesthetically pleasing, but functionality-wise, debatable. Here's my other exocraft. Obviously, while I was underwater, and on a planet that has just a lot of water, more water than I think it looked while I was just flying around in the intro. It's good to have a water vehicle. Again, Subnautica vibes. I like the vehicles in Subnautica better than this thing, but it's definitely serves its purpose. Especially while you're building down here, it's oxygen supply that you can just climb into real quick and then get all your air back. I forget what those NPCs are. I have those NPCs set up down here too. I felt kind of bad sticking them down here, but I don't think I need them for anything anymore. And if I do need them for something, I forgot what it was. So they just kind of keep me company. Like, it gets pretty lonely out here, so I like to hang out with them every once in a while, or let them scare the crap out of me when I forget that they're down there when I climb down the ladder. Plenty of options to come outside and swim around. While you're building, it's especially useful to be able to just freely hop in and out of the structure, but for obvious other reasons too. You don't want to have to be committed to a maze trying to find the exit or only one way out. But that being said, we're going to go to the guest house in a little bit, and the guest house does only have one way in and out, and it is a maze. So I did that on purpose. It's the one part of the house where, like, you want to see something cool, like we're going for a walk, because there's only one way to get there, and it's weird. It's right here. This is one last general common area, I guess. One more place to get hammered with your friends at the bar, and hang out on a couch. Now, yeah, speaking of, I don't think I finished this hangout area. We'll build something to finish this look off. There's a rug here in front of this sofa, but that doesn't look right. There should be we'll put a table here. I like the light table down here, especially at nighttime, underwater. It's really dark, so anything that can be a light source is welcome. The table is a light source, so it'll serve a purpose down here. So this is the tunnel to get to the guest house. Building it was a nightmare in a more literal sense than you think, because I'm terrified of being underwater, and then being underwater in a cave is just getting double teamed by horrible environments. So this was really nerve-wracking for me to build this. First I had to dig a hole through this mountain underwater, and then continue to swim through it and piece by piece build this tunnel and hope I don't drown or have a heart attack while I'm doing it. But I made it. I could have kept going. I think it was pretty tricky to tell from the surface how far I was along back to my main structure. We're coming back to shore through this tunnel, and so I eventually just said this must be far enough, and then dug a hole straight up to see where I popped out. And I think I didn't move it. I think I was happy with where I was. So this, I guess, main floor or middle floor of the guest area has this appearance customizing thing. It's got a function, but this is how my character has looked since I first started playing the game. I don't believe I've literally ever changed my physical appearance. And we're in a bunch of glass cubes made this first room, again for the aesthetics of being able to see everywhere, which just equals so much glass that I've had to make. But I think it's worth it. Again, I don't want any walls. The point of building on a planet that looks cool is so we can see the planet as much as possible, even from indoors. Up here in the top floor, we've got it's a sphere maker. I have no idea what the purpose of the sphere maker is for. It literally creates a big beach ball. Whatever, it's kind of cool, but I feel like I'm misusing it, or I really just don't use it. I don't know what a sphere maker is for. And then down here is the guest house. We've got one more bar dining area, I guess. There's the sofa and light table, a bunch of light up cubes, just because it was dark in here. The ceilings are high, so the lamps are super high as well, or the light sources on the ceiling are super high. So that is my whole base from the first part that I built. I probably started it a really long time ago, but I don't play No Man's Sky very regularly. So every time I do get back into the game, there is the exploration side, and there is all this great new content that they've added to continue to give players things to do. I love Hello Games, and I love all of the free content that they just keep giving us, but I don't really need any of it, because all I'm going to do is continue to find cool planets and build weird structures on them. So thank you for watching. The usual comment, like, subscribe. Really appreciate it.